During the Cold War, the world was filled with rumors. Some of those rumors were wild exaggerations, born from fear and speculation. Others were deliberate disinformation, carefully planned to confuse intelligence services on the other side of the Iron Curtain. But every now and then, a rumor appeared that made even experienced intelligence analysts pause and ask a simple question: what if it's true? Throughout the decades of rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, both sides invested enormous resources into secret military technologies. Hidden aircraft, experimental weapons, and classified programs were developed behind locked doors and guarded by layers of security so deep that even many people within the government had no idea they existed. Among these mysterious programs, one in particular captured the imagination of analysts, engineers, and intelligence officers on both sides of the Cold War. It was whispered about in classified briefings, discussed quietly among aerospace experts, and carefully monitored by Soviet intelligence. Its name appeared occasionally in obscure government budget documents, hidden inside lines that referred only to something called Aurora. Stay with this story until the end, because the truth behind America's so-called black projects reveals something remarkable about the Cold War. In an era defined by technological competition, secrecy itself became a weapon. Some programs were real, some were misunderstood, and others may have existed only long enough to leave behind a trail of unanswered questions. But whether Aurora was an operational aircraft, a cancer experiment, or something else entirely, the mystery surrounding it reflects how far the United States was willing to push the boundaries of aerospace technology, and how difficult it was for even the Soviet Union to determine what America might be capable of. To understand why programs like Aurora captured so much attention, we need to step into the world of black projects. In the United States, a black project refers to a highly classified military development program that operates under strict secrecy. Unlike ordinary defense projects, black programs are hidden not only from the public, but often from large portions of the government itself. Funding may appear inside defense budgets under vague categories, and the true purpose of the program may only be known to a small group of engineers, military officers, and intelligence officials. During the Cold War, this level of secrecy became increasingly important. Technological breakthroughs could shift the balance of power between the superpowers. If the United States developed an aircraft capable of flying faster, higher, or farther than anything the Soviet Union possessed, it could gather intelligence, strike targets, or evade defenses in ways that fundamentally changed military strategy. But the same was true in reverse. If Soviet engineers created new missile systems, radar technologies, or interceptor aircraft, the United States needed to understand those developments as quickly as possible. Intelligence agencies on both sides therefore devoted enormous effort to discovering what secret programs their adversaries were developing. This technological competition created an unusual dynamic. Some of the most important weapons of the Cold War were designed not only to perform a mission, but also to remain hidden until the moment they were needed. The United States had already demonstrated this approach with aircraft like the U-2 spy plane, and later the State Route 71 Blackbird. When the State Route 71 was first revealed in the 1960s, its performance shocked observers around the world. The aircraft could fly at speeds above Mach 3 and at altitudes higher than most missile systems could easily reach. For years before its public unveiling, the aircraft had operated in deep secrecy. That experience taught intelligence agencies an important lesson. If the United States had managed to build something as extraordinary as the State Route 71 in secret, what else might be under development? By the late 1970s and early 1980s, rumors began circulating among aviation experts about a possible successor to the Blackbird, an aircraft designed to fly even faster, possibly at hypersonic speeds far beyond Mach 3. Some analysts speculated that the new aircraft might combine rocket propulsion with advanced jet engines, allowing it to reach incredible velocities while operating at the edge of the atmosphere. The name that appeared in those rumors was Aurora. Unlike officially acknowledged programs, Aurora never appeared in detailed public announcements. Instead, references to the name surfaced in unexpected places. One of the most famous examples came from a U.S. defense budget document in the mid-1980s that listed funding for a program labeled simply Aurora. To outside observers, the entry seemed mysterious. Was Aurora the code name for a new reconnaissance aircraft, a classified propulsion system, or simply a misidentified budget category that had nothing to do with aviation at all. Aviation enthusiasts, journalists, and intelligence analysts began studying the evidence carefully. Reports began appearing of unusual aircraft sightings in remote regions of the American West, particularly near classified test ranges in Nevada and California. Some witnesses described extremely fast aircraft producing unusual sonic booms, unlike those generated by conventional jets. One of the most intriguing descriptions involved something known as pulse detonation sounds, a rapid series of thunder-like booms that some observers believed might be produced by experimental propulsion systems. Of course, in the world of Cold War secrecy, separating fact from speculation was extremely difficult. Test ranges such as Area 51 and other classified facilities had long been used for experimental aircraft development. The U-2, the State Route 71, and later stealth aircraft had all been tested in these remote desert locations. Pilots, engineers, and military personnel working at these sites operated under strict secrecy agreements, meaning that very little confirmed information ever reached the public. For Soviet intelligence services, this lack of information was deeply frustrating. The Soviet Union had powerful intelligence networks and advanced reconnaissance capabilities. Satellites monitored American military bases. Signals intelligence intercepted communications, and spies attempted to gather information about new technologies. Yet, when it came to certain American black projects, the evidence was often incomplete. The Soviets could see hints that something might be happening, but confirming exactly what that something was proved far more difficult. And in the shadowy world of Cold War intelligence, uncertainty could be just as powerful as reality. Because if Soviet analysts believed the United States might possess a new aircraft capable of flying faster than any interceptor, penetrating air defenses with ease, and reaching targets anywhere on Earth, that belief alone could influence how they planned their own defenses. In that sense, the mystery surrounding Aurora became a strategic advantage. Whether the aircraft truly existed in the form imagined by observers, or whether the rumors exaggerated something far more ordinary, the uncertain itself forced Soviet planners to consider possibilities they could never fully confirm. And that uncertainty was exactly the kind of advantage black projects were designed to create. As rumors about Aurora began circulating among aviation observers and intelligence analysts, the mystery surrounding the project grew deeper. Unlike earlier Cold War aircraft programs that were eventually revealed to the public, Aurora never appeared in official photographs, press briefings, or government announcements. Instead, the evidence surrounding it seemed to exist only in fragments. Unusual sounds heard in the sky, unexplained budget entries, and occasional reports of strange aircraft activity near highly classified test ranges. For intelligence agencies, this kind of ambiguity was both frustrating and fascinating. The Soviet Union had spent decades trying to understand American aerospace development. Soviet intelligence networks monitored defense contractors, analyzed satellite imagery of military bases, and studied the flight patterns of American aircraft. When a new aircraft program began testing, it often left clues. Construction activity at test facilities, new runway extensions, changes in radar signatures, or unusual flight patterns over restricted airspace. But Aurora was different. If the program truly existed as a high-speed reconnaissance aircraft, it appeared to be operating with an extraordinary level of secrecy. Many analysts began comparing the Aurora rumors to earlier black projects that had remained hidden for years before being revealed. The State Route 71 Blackbird, for example, had flown its first missions long before the public ever saw photographs of it. The same was true for early stealth aircraft such as the F-117 Nighthawk, which operated in secret for nearly a decade before its existence was officially acknowledged. These examples prove something important. The United States had already demonstrated that it could develop revolutionary aircraft entirely behind a veil of classified programs. That history made the Aurora rumors difficult to dismiss entirely. Some aviation researchers began studying unusual sonic boom patterns recorded in parts of Southern California during the late 1980s and early 1990s. In certain cases, observers reported hearing a series of rapid booms rather than a single thunder-like shockwave. These sounds were sometimes described as a skyquake, a strange rolling thunder that did not match the typical sonic boom produced by conventional supersonic aircraft. One theory suggested that these sounds might be associated with an experimental propulsion system known as post-detonation technology. Unlike traditional jet engines, which burn fuel continuously, post-detonation engines operate through a series of rapid explosions. Each detonation produces thrust, and when these explosions occur in rapid succession, the engine can potentially achieve extremely high speeds. Some engineers believe that such propulsion systems might allow aircraft to reach hypersonic velocities, traveling at speeds greater than Mach 5. If an aircraft like Aurora existed and used such technology, it could theoretically fly far faster than the state Route 71 Blackbird. The strategic implications of such a capability would have been enormous. A hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft could travel across continents in minutes, gather intelligence over hostile territory, and return before enemy air defenses had time to respond. Interceptor aircraft designed to chase slower reconnaissance planes would struggle to keep up with something traveling several times the speed of sound. For the Soviet Union, confirming whether such a system existed became an important intelligence question. Soviet analysts examined satellite imagery of American test ranges, searching for signs of unusual aircraft infrastructure. They monitored American aerospace research publications and attempted to track the development of experimental propulsion technologies. Intelligence officers studied defense budgets for hidden funding lines that might indicate the presence of a classified aerospace program. But despite these efforts, clear confirmation never appeared. The United States maintained strict secrecy around its advanced aerospace research, particularly in locations such as the Nevada desert, where facilities like Area 51 had already become legendary among aviation insiders. Test flights conducted in these remote regions were carefully scheduled and tightly controlled. Pilots operating experimental aircraft often flew at night or in restricted airspace, where civilian observers could not easily see them. This environment created the perfect conditions for speculation. When people occasionally reported seeing unusual aircraft shapes in the sky or hearing strange sonic booms, those reports quickly became part of the growing Aurora legend. Yet intelligence professionals understood that rumors alone were not proof. Inside the intelligence community, analysts approached the Aurora question with cautious skepticism. Some believed that the budget reference might simply have been a misinterpreted funding category. Others suspected that if the project had existed, it might have been an early research program that never reached operational status. There was also another possibility. Sometimes black projects were deliberately designed to create confusion. If adversaries believed the United States possessed technologies that had not actually been deployed, they might invest enormous resources trying to fend against a threat that did not yet exist. In the complex strategic environment of the Cold War, uncertainty could become a powerful tool. Whether Aurora represented a real aircraft, a canceled research program, or simply a misunderstood piece of the defense budget, its story reflected the extraordinary secrecy surrounding advanced aerospace development during that era. Because during the Cold War, the most advanced technologies were often developed in silence, hidden behind layers of classification, protected by remote test ranges, and known only to a handful of engineers and pilots. And for intelligence agencies trying to understand those secrets, the challenge was not just gathering information. The challenge was determining what was real and what might exist only in the shadows of speculation. By the late 1980s, the mystery surrounding Aurora had grown far beyond a simple line in a defense budget. Among aviation experts, intelligence analysts, and even military observers, the idea of a secret hypersonic aircraft had become one of the most intriguing questions of the Cold War's final years. If such an aircraft truly existed, it would represent a technological leap far beyond anything publicly known at the time. For decades, the United States had already proven that its aerospace engineers could achieve extraordinary breakthroughs when working under strict secrecy. The development of the U-2 spy plane in the 1950s had allowed American intelligence to photograph vast areas of Soviet territory from altitudes previously considered unreachable. Later, the State Route 71 Blackbird pushed the limits of speed and altitude even further, flying at more than 3 times the speed of sound while operating in hostile airspace where most aircraft would never survive. Both programs have been created by Lockheed Skunk Works, the legendary engineering group known for developing some of the most advanced aircraft in history. The Skunk Works had a reputation for producing technologies that seemed almost impossible when first revealed. Their engineers operated under intense secrecy, working in isolated facilities where new aircraft could be designed, built, and tested without attracting public attention. Because of this history, many analysts believe that if a successor to the State Route 71 existed, it would almost certainly emerge from a similar environment of classified research and experimental engineering. During the Cold War, the need for advanced reconnaissance never disappeared. Even with the development of spy satellites, aircraft still offered unique advantages. Satellites follow predictable orbits, meaning that adversaries could anticipate when they would pass overhead. Aircraft, on the other hand, could be deployed quickly and flown over specific areas at unpredictable times. If a new reconnaissance aircraft could travel at hypersonic speeds, it would combine the flexibility of an aircraft with the near invulnerability of space-based observation systems. Imagine an aircraft capable of flying from the United States to the other side of the world in less than an hour. Such a platform could conduct intelligence missions across continents and return before enemy forces had any realistic chance to intercept it. From a strategic perspective, that kind of capability would be extremely valuable. It would allow American intelligence agencies to monitor missile bases, military movements, and emerging threats anywhere on Earth with unprecedented speed. But achieving such performance was not a simple engineering challenge. Hypersonic flight introduces extreme conditions that push aircraft design to its limits. At speeds above Mach 5, the friction between the aircraft and the atmosphere generates intense heat across the airframe. Temperatures can rise high enough to weaken structural materials, damage sensors, and affect the performance of engines. Even the State Route 71 had faced similar challenges at Mach 3. Its titanium airframe had been specifically designed to withstand the tremendous heat generated during high-speed flight. Engineers had to develop special fuels, unique materials, and innovative aerodynamic designs to make the aircraft operational. A true hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft would push those challenges even further. Engineers would need to design propulsion systems capable of operating efficiently at extremely high speeds, while also developing materials that could withstand sustained exposure to intense aerodynamic heating. Some aerospace researchers believe that the solution might involve a combination of different engine types. A traditional turbojet could accelerate the aircraft to supersonic speeds, after which a ramjet or scramjet engine might take over for a hypersonic flight. These types of engines operate by compressing incoming air at extremely high speeds, allowing combustion to occur without the need for complex rotating compressor systems. While such technology had been studied for years, building a fully operational aircraft around it remained an enormous challenge. That is one reason why the Aurora story remains so difficult to confirm. The technological hurdles were enormous, but not necessarily impossible for a nation that had already built aircraft like the State Route 71. Meanwhile, intelligence agencies continued trying to determine whether the rumors had any basis in reality. Some analysts studied patterns of classified aerospace spending in the United States during the 1980s. Others examined satellite imagery of remote airfields and test ranges where experimental aircraft might be operated. Yet despite all these efforts, conclusive evidence never appeared. There were no verified photographs of Aurora, no confirmed pilot testimonies, no official acknowledgement from the U.S. government. Even decades later, the mystery remains unresolved. Some historians believe Aurora may have been a code name for a classified research program that never progressed beyond early development. Others suspect that the budget reference which triggered the speculation may simply have been misinterpreted. There is also the possibility that Aurora was never an aircraft at all, but from the perspective of Cold War intelligence, the most fascinating aspect of the story may not be whether Aurora truly existed. It is a fact that the Soviet Union, with all its intelligence networks, satellites, and espionage capabilities, could never fully determine the answer, and in the strategic chess game of the Cold War, that uncertainty alone carried enormous power. As the Cold War approached its final years, the mystery surrounding Aurora remained unsolved. Despite decades of intelligence gathering, satellite surveillance, and analysis by some of the most capable intelligence agencies in the world, no definitive confirmation ever emerged. The Soviet Union, which has spent enormous resources trying to understand American technological developments, never succeeded in proving whether the rumored hypersonic aircraft truly existed, and that, in many ways, may have been the real power of the project. During the Cold War, Technological secrecy was not only about protecting capabilities, it was also about shaping the perceptions of your adversary. If the Soviet Union believed that the United States might possess revolutionary aerospace technologies operating far beyond known performance limits, that belief alone could influence strategic planning. Military planners would have to assume the possibility was real. Air defense systems might be designed to counter threats that had never been confirmed. Research programs could be expanded to match technologies that might or might not exist. In this way, uncertainty itself became a strategic tool. Throughout the Cold War, the United States had repeatedly demonstrated that it could produce aircraft that stunned the world when finally revealed. When the U-2 spy plane first began flying over Soviet territory, it reached altitudes that many military experts believed were impossible for conventional aircraft. Later, when the State Route 71 Blackbird was introduced, its speed and altitude capabilities pushed the limits of aviation technology. And then, in the 1980s, the United States revealed another breakthrough, the F-117 Nighthawk, the world's first operational stealth aircraft. For nearly a decade, the F-117 had operated in total secrecy before its existence was publicly acknowledged. Each of these programs followed a similar pattern. First, there were rumors, then speculation among analysts and aviation experts, and eventually confirmation that the technology truly existed. Aurora seemed to follow the first two steps of that pattern, but the final step, confirmation, never arrived. After the Cold War ended in the early 1990s, many previously classified programs were gradually declassified. Details about stealth technology, reconnaissance aircraft, and other advanced systems began appearing in official histories and aerospace publications. Yet even during this period of increasing transparency, Aurora remained elusive. Some aerospace historians believe the project may have been an experimental research effort that never progressed into an operational aircraft. Others suspect that the name may have referred to a classified propulsion research program rather than a complete aircraft system. And there's always a possibility, however remote, that certain aspects of the program remain classified even today. Because the United States continues to develop advanced aerospace technologies, some of which remain hidden behind the same layers of secrecy that protected earlier black projects. What we do know is that during the Cold War, the competition between the United States and the Soviet Union extended far beyond conventional weapons. It was a race for technological superiority, a race to build faster aircraft, more advanced missiles, better radar systems, and more sophisticated intelligence platforms. In that race, secrecy was often just as important as innovation. Programs hidden deep within classified budgets and remote test facilities allowed engineers to experiment with ideas that pushed the limits of what was possible. Some of those ideas eventually became the aircraft and technologies that shaped modern military aviation. Others disappeared into the shadows of classified history. Aurora remains one of the most fascinating examples of that hidden world. Whether it was a real aircraft, an early experiment in hypersonic propulsion, or simply a misunderstood piece of the defense budget, the legend of Aurora reflects the extraordinary secrecy that surrounded Cold War aerospace development. But perhaps the most remarkable part of the story is this. Even one of the most powerful intelligence networks in the world, the Soviet intelligence system, could never confirm the truth. And in the silent contest between secrecy and espionage, that uncertainty may have been one of America's quiet victories in the Cold War. Because sometimes the most powerful weapon is not the one your enemy can see. It's the one they can never prove exists.